following podcast is recorded and produced by the Podcast Precinct in affiliation with the network at bicbp-radio.com. The Podcast Precinct. Consistency, creativity, culture.
The Nostalgia Funhouse proudly dedicates all episodes in the loving memory of Connie Chirac. So, Johnny, I've been hearing really great things about this Nostalgia Funhouse. It just brings back so many great memories.
Andrew, the only reason I'm moving in line with you here is that you really vouched for this show. So I'm just going to believe you that this is the show that I've been wanting, which is just talking about all the fun stuff from our yesteryear and the years before. And I really hate anything meta, so I'm glad that what we're doing right now is not that.
Oh, no, definitely. What is meta? Isn't that Ron Artest's new name?
Well, add world and peace to it, sure.
Yeah, but this is great. They, last year they were tearing play sets and Halloween costumes.
Well, that sounds cool.
They get these weird court recordings from pop culture courts.
Does anybody care about court cases?
These ones are kind of cool. They put Scott Kelvin on trial. Poor Santa Claus there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds interesting.
Yeah, man. You know what's the best part about this is, though? Is I hear they always got a really great sponsor. You can check it out right there.
This is my father. He hangs pictures, helps Grandpa experiment, helps Mommy with the cleaning. Where does he get his go? From me. I lend him my Cheerios. Daddy says they're the greatest thing since bat wings. Mommy says they give him protein and stuff. Give your father some go. And he might play catch with you.
Big G, little O. Go with Cheerios.
We're creepy and we're kooky, mysterious and spooky. We're all together ooky. The Nostalgia Fun House. Their house is a museum. When people come to see them, they really are a meum thing. The Nostalgia Fun House. Welcome to the Nostalgia Fun House. That's right, we're in spooky season. I'm Johnny the Terrible, and he's Andrew the Wise, but also kind of terrible.
No, who's scared of wise?
And terrible.
A terrible wise man?
Yeah.
What, did I get left out by Mary and Joseph over there? The other three were
What people don't know is there were actually 4 wise men. And the other 3 were let's get gifts. But you, the terrible wise man, is I'm not bringing shit. So
no, that's not my Messiah.
You were way ahead of never mind. Let's. This is not that show. This is the Nostalgia Fun House. Yeah. Andrew and I haven't talked to each other in a while. I don't know if anybody knows this, but I live in Western North Carolina and didn't have a great week. So
not the best.
That's correct. A lot of stuff in my area got it way worse than I did. I was actually pretty fortunate to only have a week without power. Other people have lost a lot. Don't forget us. We got hit really, really bad over here. And also during our busiest season, Western North Carolina does big business when the leaves change.
Ooh, you're one of those places.
Yeah, people come to see the leaf peepers, as they like to be called. And of course, that can't happen now because a lot of those places are cut off. A lot of people still missing even to this day, so it's really sad and it sucks. But we're here. I've really missed podcasting, but that's why you didn't have a show last week. So if you got a problem with that, up yours, I guess.
Let me tell you my problem, like I told Johnny.
Oh, man, I don't even think we're ready for this.
Trying to watch Friday the 13th on Paramount Plus.
Yeah.
Gets to a certain scene, and the dubbing gets thrown off throughout the whole entire movie.
Desperate. Oh, God. My God.
No voices do not match up with the moving mouths. No noises match up properly. Oh,
like old Godzilla movie, huh?
Did not. That's what I told my kids, and they didn't understand that reference. So that's why I podcast.
I thought you were raising your kids better than that.
I thought I did.
I'd be ashamed of myself.
I was not happy when they did not get that reference.
But let's get happy, Andrew. I didn't like that transition, but I already made it.
Let's get happy.
Let's get happy.
Partridge
And
Family? No, we're talking about the Addams Family.
that's right. And the Munsters. That's right. We're doing a good old verses today, getting us all prepared for Halloween. It is October, the month of the creeps and the
bleeps. Oh wait, that's
bleeps, the creeps,
and the sweeps.
and the sweeps.
That's baseball.
We've been jammed. That's right. It's strawberry. And
it was raspberry.
Oh, raspberry. Here we go. Yeah.
I remember that because I love it when he's like raspberry. Oh, no, maybe it was strawberry. I don't know, but just
the last part of it was berry. I know that much for sure.
It was a berry.
Definitely a berry. Yeah. Manilow, probably. Welcome to the Nostalgia Funhouse. We're very excited today. Maybe a little too excited, but what we've done is, according to IMDb, we found the top 3 episodes of the Addams Family and the top 3 episodes of the Munsters, and we have watched these said episodes. Yeah. That's right. We did the work for you. We've watched them, and we're going to compare the two. I propose, Andrew, we go back and forth.
Okay.
So we do like the 3rd episode of Addams Family, then the 3rd episode of Munsters, and go back and forth like that.
So first of all, going into this, Johnny, who were you like, okay, I know where I'm leaning towards.
Yes.
From just basic nostalgia.
Correct. And that would be the Munsters for me.
Okay. So we are on the same page there.
Yeah, we were a Munsters family over here, the Townsends growing up. I do like the Addams Family. I never hated it. But Herman Munster is like a top 5 TV character for me of all time.
I could see that.
So I'm very partial to the Munster. He's also the reason why he was my first introduction to the Frankenstein monster. So that became my favorite monster also because of him.
I think he was probably mine too. That may be shocking to you. That may be very shocking to you.
Yeah, it's usually not the type of kids movie you would watch.
Listen, it was on TV. I watched it. That's how it went. When it hit
Both those TV shows have iconic themes, by the way.
Yes, they do. Yes. And then I think the Addams Family are a little bit more relevant because they can always keep on bringing them back. And then we did when we one of our first what is it? Nostalgia Fix Cash Grab Disc, and we did the Rob Zombie.
I don't even want to talk about that.
Oh, it was so horrible. And watching just in the beginning, just to kind of compare the two, watching this, there is no essence of the Munsters in that movie.
Agreed. The soul is not there.
Also, I rewatched Gremlins 2, the new batch.
That's what I'm talking about.
Settle down, people. But I was also pissed off that is not Grandpa Munster in Gremlins 2, the new batch.
That's right. Yeah, that is true.
Not happy. That's like 30 years of me watching Gremlins 2.
Now, I will say, when it comes to Addams Family, I did enjoy those 2 movies that came out like in the 90s. Yes. I do like those. And I've watched them like last year, and they still were pretty good to me.
Yeah. I enjoy those. I haven't did you watch the new cartoon that came out like a year or 2 ago or something?
No.
Okay. Did you watch the Saturday morning cartoon?
No, I don't think I ever did. No.
I think I did once because there was nothing good on or something wacky.
Yeah.
All right. So where are we going to start? We're going to start Addams Family?
Let's start Addams Family. Lurch and the Teenage Idol.
Yes. So basically, Gomez Addams hears Lurch and he's like, hey, anybody can be a musician. Everybody wants to be a musician. So he
that's what he does. That's how Lurch sings.
Yeah. Over some good instrumentals though.
Oh yeah, he could play the heck out of that. It's not a piano. What's it called? It's
is it organ?
It might be an organ. Yeah.
But yes, he gets into film or music recording. He becomes the next big thing. Fans go to his house. Gomez is pushing it, and I really like that throughout there where Gomez didn't really realize what was going on, and Lurch is kind of neglecting his duties.
Yeah, the fame's getting to his head a little bit.
Yeah. So it's kind of neglecting the duties and he's getting fallen behind. And Gomez is like, hey, I need you to do some work. And they're like, well, you did this, Gomez. And he was like, well, who called the record? Who called the record executive? They're like, you did. And it was just that type of classic thing.
Yeah. Yeah. This Lurch does sort of sound like that era's type of folk singer in a way. Dylan has a very distinct sound of voice.
Hey, how you doing?
How you doing there? And then there's a couple other ones who have very deep voices who do kind of and I, for the record, like folk alternative is like my favorite type of music. Lumineers, where you at?
We know
That type of stuff. So
I
I was all for this. And it was Lurchamania outside of his house, Andrew. Girls were feigning to get to him.
He also loses his voice at one point.
He sure does.
Goes on to a world tour, but after regaining his voice, Lurch decides to stay home and he gets mobbed by fans. We get treated to such dances as the Watusi.
That's right, we do.
And
that's the one that Wednesday does. She does a little dance too. I can't remember.
Yeah, but I think it's in a different episode.
Oh, okay. All right. Sorry.
So Wednesday seems like she does a lot of dances. Also, my favorite dance from Troop Beverly Hills, the Freddy.
Oh,
yeah, that's right.
Freddy.
I am a fan of Troop Beverly Hills. You cannot say anything bad about Troop Beverly Hills to me.
And I won't. I shan't.
Have you ever seen Troop Beverly Hills?
I have a lot, many times.
Great.
When I was a kid, actually, it's one of the movies I saw as a kid. So
I almost divorced my wife over that because she was like, I don't want to watch this. And I'm like, Craig T. Nelson, Shelley Long, signed me up.
Yeah. That's olive oil, for crying out loud.
I think Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is in that too. Plays a neighbor or something, I think.
Oh man, does he fly a plane?
No.
Oh man.
Drags Lanier up and down the court.
I did like the bit with the cigar bit where Gomez is smoking a cigar and then he just puts another cigar in his mouth. So he's got two cigars.
I John Aston is so great.
He is really good. Yeah.
So getting into just kind of watching this reminds me of like how we did Batman 89, where we were like, there's that Michael Keaton Batman that it was like, wow. But then the guy that did it kind of like first in Adam West, and John Aston is that Adam West.
Yes.
Yes. Raul Julian was great as Gomez Addams.
Oh yeah, he's incredible.
But that John Aston is just amazing.
Yeah, perfect casting for this character. Yeah. It's hard to believe that's Sam Wise's dad right there.
Yeah. Pretty
wild stuff.
And also Harry Anderson's dad from Night Court.
Yeah.
Did you not know that? Are we grading each one, or are we just kind of...
I do have a grade for each one.
That's what I thought, because that's what I did.
This was a very fun episode, I will say.
Yeah.
Just kind of goofy fun. What did you give this?
I gave it an A.
I gave it a B+. I think we're really close to each other on this.
Yeah, I gave it an A. I thought it was... Because I watched all the Munsters first, and then I watched Addams Family.
I did it the other way around, so we switched this.
So... I really enjoyed this one.
Yeah, it's very fun. Also, I just want to say this. Morticia, she can get it. That's an attractive lady.
It is. I also noticed in other episodes that it's a reverse family dynamic compared to the movies, where the grandma is Gomez's mother, not Morticia's mother. And
right,
Uncle
yeah.
Fester
I don't know why that threw me off for a second, because I thought it was the other way around too.
Yeah, and Uncle Fester is not. He's Morticia's uncle, not Gomez's brother.
Right. Yeah.
So just to warn people if you go back through. Next we got for the Munsters, we got the happy 100th anniversary. This is a lovely classic Anniversary episode.
Yeah, we're coming up on the 100th anniversary of their marriage. That
Yep.
would mean that they got married, because they actually say the year. They got married in 1865. And that's literally the year after the Civil War ends. That's how long ago that was. And this show takes place, it was made in like the 60s. So,
Yeah. And so, yeah, the Munsters came out in 64, and Addams Family, I believe, came out in 65. Oh,
Yeah.
no, 64. So they came around the same time, September of 64 for the Addams Family, and September 24th for CBS.
I also want to say the Munsters is on Peacock. If you can watch it on there, please do, because Peacock like went out of the way to put like the best looking definition. Like it's the high def.
Yeah.
The Munsters looks really good on there. Just visually it looks great.
So ABC had the Addams Family, and the Munsters were on CBS. CBS. I don't know why every time.
This is CBS.
Okay. I'm just wondering if I'm the only person. So it finds out. Finds out that it's the 100th wedding anniversary, and it's like, hey, guess what? I'm gonna get her something really great.
Yeah, and guess what? At the same time, a certain little wife of his is thinking the exact same thing. Andrew.
Yes. And
Lily is thinking the same thing,
I
and they
love it.
both get the same idea. Hey, I want to take $1,000 out of our bank account.
And only leave us with $200.
That's what I was thinking.
That was my favorite part. Is I got $1,200 in my bank account. I'm gonna take out 1,000 and buy him something really great. I'm gonna buy her something really great.
Yeah. But of course, that means they both take it out at the same time. So both their checks basically bounce, and they're not able to do that. So what are they to do, Andrew?
Oh, they're gonna go get jobs. They're gonna go
That's right.
they're gonna go moonlighting. And they're gonna moonlight as welders. But the interview process is pretty zany throughout this, as it takes 5 different interviewers to interview them because they're all so scared of their appearances.
Yeah, which I get for Herman, because he's huge and he looks like Frankenstein's monster. I get it. Lily is just a beautiful woman, in my opinion.
Yeah. I
mean, she might be like a little gothic, I guess.
Well,
but
her last name is Dracula. Her maiden name is Dracula.
That is true, yeah.
She's
Yeah.
going by her maiden name, so Herman does not recognize anything. But so they do that, and as they're moonlighting as welders, they don't see each other.
That's right. They got the big welding what are those things called? Shields on their faces.
And they're at a naval shipyard.
And they happen to be put right next to each other.
Yep. But it's too loud for either one of them to talk to each other. So they talk by torching the ship. Messages into the ship.
I am a boy.
Yeah, I'm a girl. And that's how they flirt with each other, to the point where they both hope that they like Bat's milk yogurt. And
Yeah, they pack each other a lunch.
yeah. And then one day,
All this whole time that they're doing this, Grandpa knows that Herman's doing it. And what's the niece's name? I forget her name.
yeah,
The one who looks normal when they make fun of because she looks normal. Marilyn knows about Lily, what she's doing. And then Grandpa and Lily just find out from each other that they know what's going on now.
Yeah.
Because they talk to each other. And I just thought that was the setup of just a zany. I told you, I do miss these zany sitcom premises like this.
It was pretty entertaining. And then they all of a sudden they find out that because they didn't know, but they were flirting with each other. Then they found out that they were flirting with each other, and then they're mad at each other.
Yeah.
Flirting with somebody that they didn't know. So finally it's just explained to him, well, don't you feel like you just fell in love all over again?
It was very sweet. Yeah.
And how did she not know that was Herman?
There's no way you don't know. There's no one else that even remotely looks like that.
No.
Yeah. He's humongous.
Fred Gwynn, national treasure.
He freaking rules. I did also enjoy. There's this scene where Grandpa is roasting marshmallows, and those marshmallows are freaking humongous.
I love a good grandpa in this.
Yeah, that team of Grandpa and Herman is a great duo.
Uh, I gave this a B plus. I thought another.
I also gave it a B plus. We're on the same page with this one.
We got two anniversary episodes because our next one here is another anniversary episode, Morticia's Romance,
Part one.
for the Addams family.
Yep.
So pretty much this is their anniversary, and
This is them telling how they met, basically.
yeah, basically. And can I say I love it when they don't cast people younger?
Yeah, they just let them play younger. Yeah, me
Yeah,
too.
like the George Lopez big head as kids always got me, like where they just
Yeah.
put like George Lopez and his friend like on a kid's head.
Now, Andrew, I do think it's the movie's fault that I forgot that on the I remember the original TV show how actually young Wednesday and Pugsley are. They're actually
Yeah,
just young kids.
They're very, very young.
Yeah.
But they so they're meeting, and Gomez mentions that he was supposed to marry Morticia's sister, Ophelia Frump.
That's
But
right.
did you catch a special guest star in this?
Oh. I sure did. That woman who was on that Sesame Street that you can't watch.
Yeah, Margaret Hamilton, the Wicked Witch of the West herself, plays Morticia's and Ophelia's mother. And Ophelia is played by the same actress, Marilyn Jones, that plays Morticia. So it's pretty much Ophelia is just off the wall. Gomez falls in love with Morticia just because
Let's
she's
not forget that Gomez is like a sickly person. Like he has
yeah,
tuberculosis or something, I think they
he had
said.
bronchitis,
Bronchitis, that's what it is. Yeah.
bronchitis, and so he's always under a vaporizer. But when he's around Morticia, he feels better.
Yeah.
But around Ophelia, he doesn't. And Ophelia is called the white sheep of the family. Dun-dun, dun-dun, for you guys that
Yeah.
get that. But yeah, this is where we find out that there's a different family setup. I like the bargaining of the dowry where um Mort Ophelia and Morticia's mom is talking to Grandma Addams, and
Yeah.
they're trying to figure out, and she's like, well, I'll do, and the Wicked Witch of the West, I'll just refer to her as that. She's like talking to Grandma Addams, and she's like, well, I'll give you this amount of money, and I'll do this, this, and this. And Grandma Addams was like, okay, and I'll just bring the guests. It was like totally lopsided throughout everything.
Yeah. Let me ask you this, Andrew. Before she actually says her age, because he asked her age.
Yes.
How old do you think they were in this flashback?
I had no idea. That's one of the things that I did love. I thought
Because they acted like they were children.
Yeah, I thought they were supposed to be in the child, maybe teens, early teens.
That's what I was thinking, because she has dolls that she's cut all the heads off of, which makes sense because she passes those down to Wednesday. But like she's an adult carrying these around, she's got a bunch, and her sister wants to play hide and seek. So that's.
But how old are they, Johnny?
He asked Morticia's age, and she's 22 in this.
Yeah. But they're playing hide and go seek and everything else. And well, Gomez does have his trains. You see Gomez's trains, so
that's true. Yeah. And you get to see Cousin It. We get a Cousin It appearance.
Yes, that was always huge as a kid to see Cousin It.
Yeah.
So pretty much they call Uncle Fester, and Uncle Fester tries to smooth things over and give them advice, and then they end the episode pretty much by wanting to, I don't even know how to say it, unalive themselves by shooting themselves.
Yeah. What a direction this took.
Yeah, but spoiler alert for part 2, I'm not gonna lie, because there is a part 2, and you know what goes on. They don't do that.
Oh, I bet they get together.
Yeah.
That'd be my guess.
That's pretty much that episode. I thought this was better anniversary episode than the Munsters.
There's a lot more to it for sure.
Yeah.
I also just gave us a B plus though. I thought it was kind of
Ooh.
same level to me.
Okay.
I do think it's slightly better, but I think I just need more. I like when Gomez is Gomez, and I like when Uncle Fester is a big part of everything. So I needed more Fester here.
You wanted Fester to Fester.
I
I
sure
gave
did.
this an A because I kind of like origin stories. I
Okay, yeah, well,
I
you got
like
that in spades in
I
these top threes.
yeah. See, I like a little. I like a little flashback and stuff like that. I think that's why I enjoy um Lord of the Rings and then what is that? The Hobbit and stuff. The Hobbit movies,
Yeah.
because they give me a little peek into an origin, and I like that
Yeah,
story.
that's why you're a huge fan of the Star Wars prequels.
Oh, jeez. Yeah. Uh,
Big fan over there.
so moving on to the Munsters, we got just another pretty face.
Now, this is what I'm talking about when I want a funny, goofy sitcom episode.
Yes.
This is like the definition of that. The gist of it is Herman wants to know just what in the world is Grandpa Munster doing in the basement?
I know.
Because
Stay away.
he puts 3 signs up, hey, that basically say, Herman, this means you. Don't you dare go down there. And of course, Herman's got to go down there.
Oh yeah. And he gets hit by lightning, and then he just becomes normal. He looks
Yes.
normal.
His
Normal
disfigurement
body.
is that he's a human being person now.
Yes. And they take him to the doctors.
And none of his family, like his family is like, oh, like just in shock.
Yeah.
Like Lily won't even kiss him anymore.
When they put him in the normal suit and give him the comb over hair. That was great
The
too.
son, Eddie, like doesn't even recognize you're not my father.
And then he goes to the doctors, played by Dom DeLuise.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That's how you have a guest. We've had 2 great guests on both these shows now.
Yes.
Legendary guests.
So this kind of reminded me of the Twilight Zone with the pig faces.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, that's kind of how I got out of this. But I love the campy jokes and everything else in this. And then finally, Grandpa's like, "Hey, I found like blueprints to Herman."
Yeah,
you could say. And so they try and recreate it to get him.
But he goofs. He goofs, Andrew.
Yes, and Herman comes out as looks like Herman, but he's a girl. Like he just wears a dress.
Yeah, he's a female version of Herman.
Yep. But then all of a sudden, Herman's going to work at the cocktail club, and it was told, "Don't let the patrons get fresh with you." But as he's going outside, he gets struck by lightning in the rain,
and we get good old Herman back.
You get good old Herman back.
I love this.
I love this one too, because this was one that you knew that was going to kind of pop up at some point where they look normal or they have to act normal or something of that nature. I give this one an A because it's just good old campy fun. It reminded me of something that you would see on Family Matters.
I 100%. Oh yes, I 100% agree. I also gave this an A. I really love this one.
So here's our final Addams Family one. It's Halloween with the Addams Family, which this one is pretty good. So the kids are about to go out trick or treating.
But how do they? When the Addams Family go trick or treating, how do they dress? Like normal people.
Well, Pugsley kind of had the Vince McMahon mustache going.
Yes, yeah. And I love that they had to keep on telling them, make sure you let everybody know that you are regular children.
Yeah, they gotta do that because all of a sudden you hear sirens outside, Johnny. There's sirens in the neighborhood with the Addams Family, and all of a sudden it goes on to 2 bank robbers. And I forgot how nicely bank robbers used to dress in the 60s.
They do dress very nice, yeah.
But they need somewhere to hide out. And who was one of those bank robbers?
He looked very familiar to me.
You didn't know who that was?
Who was it? Let's go ahead and say.
Come on.
I just saw the face. He looked very familiar, but I couldn't remember the name.
You're a damn hockey puck.
I know, you're telling me.
It's Don Rickles.
Oh, there we go. Yes. Okay. Yes.
I was like, Johnny, aren't you? Did you and Matt? Weren't you the one that did the Don Rickles episode though? on
Yeah.
Retro Pop? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good old Don Rickles.
But it's a younger Don Rickles. Like he's not as old here.
Always picking up. I don't know what's wrong with me. Once again, can't remember my kid's birthday.
We're getting great
But
guest stars though.
I can
in these
recognize
shows.
young Don Rickles from.
He's one of the bank robbers.
Yep. So they go into the Addams family home because they think that they're kind of trick or treating.
Now, let me go ahead and also say that Uncle Fester is just a great character.
Yes.
He's very fun. He's not as good as Herman when it comes to the physical comedy, but he's really good at physical comedy though.
Yeah.
Like he has great facial expressions.
So they go into the house and Gomez is like, "Hey, let me put some treats in your bag," and they're handing out apples. And then all of a sudden they open up the bag and they're bank robbers and there's a whole bunch of money. He's like, "Oh, they got cash in here."
Here I was going to give you apples.
And he just
So instead he goes, "Hey, let me just give you cash." And he just hands him
opens up the drawer and he's like, just piles of cash.
Also, they've been setting up for a big party, it looked like, because they love Halloween.
Yeah.
But the only ones that ever show up are those two bank robbers who weren't invited in the first place.
No. The bank robbers come up with the idea of, hey, there's got to be more money around here.
Yeah.
Let's go.
And they can't leave yet anyway because they're still hearing sirens outside.
Yeah. Hey, let's go try and rob this guy.
Yeah, let's go bobbing though. Like when the Addams family will go bobbing, they don't bob for apples, do they, Andrew?
No. It's like a crab.
It's a big crab.
It's a giant crab.
Oh man, that was great.
Yeah. So I'm trying to get going through the whole entire episode here. But yeah, so the bank robbers are doing that, and they just kind of just get completely creeped out by every little thing. But every time they hear a siren, they're like, we better stay here, or that's gonna happen.
Yeah, and they do decide they're going to leave one time. But Thing, we haven't even talked about Thing.
Thing is amazing.
Thing's very hip to what these two are.
Yeah,
because at one point he takes one of their guns out, switches it out with a banana. And then at another point, he locks the door from the inside. By the way, that part kind of caught me a little bit. He locks the door from the inside, and the two can't get out, even though they're on the inside. But yeah, Thing, Andrew, here's a little bit of Johnny trivia for you. When I was a kid, and I first saw Thing, and then I also happened to see those, thanks to Thing, I was petrified that I would see a little hand running across the floor, like it was a rat or something, and I would always be looking down as a kid for little hands running around. So when I was a little kid, Thing and the Hamburger Helper commercials were not my friend.
Yeah, I never had a problem with Thing.
Now I think Thing's awesome. Thing freaking rules. Yeah. So if you don't know, Thing is literally a hand. He's just a hand.
Yeah. He's a thing. Trying to find out more of the plot on this.
Oh, well, the gist of it is that it ends when the kids come back from trick-or-treating.
Yeah.
The two robbers take this opportunity to run out the door, and then they're immediately caught by the police.
And they kind of want to get caught.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I would hang out with the Addams family. I gave this episode, I gave it an A.
I also gave this an A.
I thought it was fun. I thought
very fun. Very fun. This is kind of what you would expect and hope for out of a Halloween episode, especially for a show like Addams Family.
Yeah. And then on to the Munsters. Last one.
Here we go.
Is Knock Wood. Here Comes Charlie. So the gist is this Herman's twin brother Charlie, who
I guess is kind of British.
I was gonna say the accent different. You just throw Herman in different clothes and an accent. And there you go.
Yeah.
Oh, also I put this is one where they switched Maryland's after 13 episodes, and this Maryland sucks. Beverly Owens R.I.P.
He's all right, but the original one was
Yeah,
better.
Patty Priest is the best.
Yeah, double P.
Double P. Did you know Mel Blanc did the voice of Charlie the Raven too?
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that. That's cool. Bugs Bunny himself.
So this one, Uncle Charlie comes into town, and
Now, Herman knows who his brother is.
yes,
He knows the kind of person his brother is. He's sort of a con man. But the rest of the family is quick to accept him because it's Herman's brother and he's family.
And he gives out gifts.
And he gives out gifts. Yeah.
But he has a new invention that I can't.
This episode is filled with great gags, by the way.
Yes. Extracts uranium
from seawater.
Yes. So
what everybody needs.
Yes. So this is going to make millions of dollars.
Yeah.
Back then, that's a lot of money. So he uses it, and all of a sudden, there's like a little drawer that comes out, and Grandpa's like, "Hey, let me go get my Geiger counter," and he's like, "Oh, no need,
because he knows it's not a real machine."
Yeah, no need, and he uses his Geiger counter, which shows that it has radiation.
Grandpa is great in this episode, by the way.
Yes, yeah,
he is awesome in this one.
So as he's going and he's doing that, their grandpa takes it downstairs and he's like, "Well, I'm gonna check it out," because Herman, once again, because this is his brother, he's like, "Listen, Charlie knows that you got money from your grandmother, Lily."
Yeah, Charlie's trying to get them to invest in this thing.
Yeah, because Charlie needs the money to pay off gambling debts or something
like that. He's in trouble.
Yeah, with Knuckles. Yes. We're not talking about Sonic.
No.
So he needs to sell this thing for $5,000. So, but then all of a sudden, Lily mentions that there is a widow next door. So she's like, "Oh, well, Herman likes to go over there, and she really likes Herman because he helps her out and everything else."
Yeah.
But so he's like, "Oh, okay, well, I'm gonna go over there." But little does this widow
doesn't know that that's not Herman. She thinks it's Herman. Yeah.
She thinks it's
also,
Herman.
while this is happening, Grandpa thinks that he's broken the machine.
Yes, because I love the classic things like that. Like, instead of just being right in front of their face.
Yeah. They just assume the best of somebody. So he thinks, "Oh no, I broke this machine." So he sits about to fix it. There's a great scene where he goes, "I can't fix this thing. All I can do is make gold."
Oh yeah, and he just keeps on dumping it out into
his whole floor is just covered in gold. Scrooge McDuck would have a field day.
So Charlie ends up selling the widow the machine for $5,000.
Yes. I also want to point out my favorite gag out of all the things we saw of these 6 episodes happens in this episode, and that's the safe gag, where Herman goes to open the safe, but it's so ridiculously long of a combination that it takes multiple scenes, literally multiple scenes.
He's still over there.
Yeah. I really love that. And then he goes to use it again. He goes, "Oh, screw it," and just punches a hole through the wall and grabs a bag of money.
So he is so they finally sell the machine, and then Herman at this point grandpa like fixes it to make it actually extract uranium, but it's already sold to the widow, and then Herman buys it back from the widow because he feels bad that she got cheated on money, but he's got to pay an extra $500.
She kind of extorts him a little bit.
Yeah. So, well, they got $1,200 in their bank account, $5,000 from Millie's grandmother. They're fine.
Yeah.
they got a little bit of wiggle room going.
So they got like $700 left.
Yeah. Love the back. That's a lot back then.
Yeah, that's almost like $800.
And so all of a sudden Charlie finds out that Grandpa fixed the machine.
Yeah.
And so all of a sudden Charlie buys it from Herman because now Grandpa fixed the machine. But Grandpa forgot to say something. that it was still kind of unstable.
Yeah, it's still unstable.
So Charlie gets into the taxi, and who's the taxi driver but Knuckles?
That's right. Knuckles shows up to drive the taxi.
Not the guy from Sonic. Were you disappointed when it wasn't Knuckles?
Yeah, I think if it had been the Knuckles from Sonic, I would have really popped. This would be like 30 years before he was invented.
And so they go to use it, and Grandpa's like, "Oh, I forgot to tell him one thing. It's still kind of unstable." And then all of a sudden, Knuckles and Charlie go to use the machine, and it blows up, and you just see this blown up cab with Charlie and Knuckles inside.
Yeah, great sight gag. Man, I really love this episode, Andrew.
Yeah, this was a good one. This was good.
This is probably my favorite of all 6 that I watched. And I thought all 6 of them were very good.
Yeah, I gave this one an A. I don't know if this is my favorite.
I gave it an A+. I think that's the safe gag and the gold gag really put me over.
You're good. Good for the gags there.
That's right. Yeah. Give me some good gags and you got me.
Yeah, I think this was my favorite Munsters.
Yeah.
My favorite Addams Family was Morticia's Romance Part 2.
My favorite Addams Family would probably be the Halloween one, but all 3 of them, honestly, all 6 episodes are very strong.
Yeah, they are. They are.
Yeah.
So, Johnny, it's now come down time to which show, I don't want to say which show do you think is better, but which show do you prefer? Are you still on the Munster side, or?
I think nostalgia and just my preference will always be Munsters. But I will say this did make me want to go back and watch all of the Addams Family.
I felt the same way because I've watched a couple of episodes already. I've already watched Morticia's Romance Part 2 because I needed.
Yeah. So this did like make me want to go back and watch those. I hadn't seen those in a long time. I did like a couple years ago rewatch all the Munsters, and they still were very fun. So I bet the Addams Family will be just as good. I don't think you can go wrong with either. I just prefer Munsters.
I think as a kid, I would have definitely preferred just all Munsters, but now kind of like the Addams Family a little bit better. Maybe because I have a better appreciation for John Astin after watching like Night Court.
Oh yeah, he's
like that.
I think both shows are very strong and great fun characters, but also they both have really awesome father figures.
Yes,
because they are kind of creepy and kooky, but they actually give a crap about their family.
Well, they're all together spooky.
That's right, yeah, and they really are a scree. I really hate that part of that theme song.
I don't know. I definitely Addams Family now though for me. I like the naiveness of Gomez and the kind of all the wackiness that goes.
We didn't even talk about when they were golfing in the house. That was pretty funny.
Oh yeah, about hitting his face.
Yeah,
but thing was great. What made it great too in this is in the movie things like cut off at the wrist.
Right. Yeah.
At like the upper part of the wrist. Here, it's like a whole arm.
Yeah.
Just came out of place. But that is something to expect. And it's 1960s, it's television. They can't do that crazy stuff.
Right. Yeah.
But I really like that aspect of it as well.
I don't think you can go wrong with either show, though. I think both shows are very fun, very good. I would just pick Munsters over Addams Family, but I won't. But like if you said, "Hey, let's watch some Addams Family," I'm going to watch some Addams Family,
yeah,
and I'm going to enjoy it. Yeah.
Better intro. Which one do you think has got the better intro? That's a hard one because that Munsters doesn't have lyrics, but Oh, I forgot about that too. The great joke where they were for the 100th one, where they were looking at a picture and it was like, "Wow, great body." That little gag there, it was actually a carriage.
Yeah.
Intro wise,
that okay. They kind of for a theme song when they get to the scream thing in the lyrics, they really shoehorn that in to make it rhyme, and that will always bug me. I hate that. It's like scratching your fingernails on a chalkboard to me. Don't care for it. But other than that, it's a very classic theme song. But after I heard it once, I did skip it.
Really?
I never skipped the Munsters.
I didn't skip any of them. I like the Addams Family. I'm not gonna lie.
I think it's the Scream thing. If it didn't have that, I would be more on.
I like to give a little snap of the fingers there.
Oh yeah. I don't know. It's just I think the Munsters just kind of worked for me because I also get that. I just always have that vision of Herman bursting through the front door.
That is
too, and it's just great. It's just a great combination there.
If I gotta listen to something, it's all about the good old Addams Family. But the beginning sequence, I know what you're talking about of the Munsters, where you're kind of meeting them all and everything.
Yeah.
Else, and they're just it's very unique. Each one from Gomez and everything else. They're just very, very.
Those shows are just chock full of great characters, iconic characters. I would dare say.
I think it all depends what you want. If you want more gaggy jokes,
good Munsters.
I felt Addams Family had more.
Oh, what
the naiveness of Gomez.
Well, they both can have gaggy jokes then.
But Munsters, I felt, had more like physical comedy.
Yeah, I'd agree there. Yeah.
So I think that's where you go with that.
Herman Munster is like one of the greatest physical comedians in a TV show.
Yeah, I'm a big.
He's up there with Mr. Bean when it comes to stuff like that for me.
I'm a big fan of Fred Gwynn from Car 54. Where are you? The Munsters to all the way to My Cousin Vinny.
That's right.
Fred Gwynn ruled. Yes. All right. Got anything else, Johnny? Or?
No. I just love both these shows. This was a very fun one. I was excited to do this one. What are we doing next time for Spooky Month here on the Nostalgia Haunted House?
I believe we're watching Beetlejuice.
Oh, don't you say it 2 more times.
I won't, because I know what happens.
So we're going to Beetlejuice it. I have not seen the sequel yet.
I have not seen it either. I've heard some mixed things about it. So
I know 2 people who saw it personally who loved it. So I don't know. Well, I'll watch it when it comes streaming for sure.
When it comes streaming right through.
That's right. Streaming right through my house.
Yeah, I don't think I want to go to the movies to see it. So I'm too busy trying to figure out how I could go see Goonies in the movie theater. So to the mark, man. They're playing all these good classic movies for $5. How can you go wrong?
You get to see them on a giant screen. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that is it. Check us out on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and check out Johnny over on Letterboxd for his movie reviews.
Yeah. Hocus Pocus will be up soon.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Terrible movie now. Terrible movie.
Oh, we'll fight over that. That's another back of me then.
Well, with that being said, what may not be nostalgia for you may be nostalgia for some.
And don't you go a scream.
Beware, it's the Addams Family cereal.
Creepy and it's spooky, mysterious and spooky. It's all together booty, the Addams Family cereal.
The weird one of this complete breakfast.
Just wait until you see them. It's like with fairy tree. They taste so good you'll see them.